What is up, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Kylo, and welcome back to Elden Ring. I'm going ahead and giving you guys just a little bit of a build. I'm not even going to lie to you, though. This is mostly for me, just because I kind of enjoy the idea of posting a little bit of a breakdown, like, hey, this is before I get to end game. This is the build that I'm using. This is the vibe that I have going for me right now. And basically, I want to show this off so that you guys are aware that, hey, I can do this, and this is my build. So basically, I just want to go over all of this with you, and show you guys what I've got going for me, and then down the road, maybe I'll do an in-game one as well. So, what we're looking at in terms of stats. So I am level 121. Now, again, I don't necessarily know how close I am to the end of the game. I just got to the land of the giants without, telling you any kind of spoilers or anything. That is basically where I'm at. Now, if you're looking over here at my stats, some of the stuff that I have over here is mostly for the ability to carry all of the gear that I have. So we have 34 vigor, which is plenty enough of health to basically tank a lot of stuff. The endurance at 47 basically allows me to be one heavy boy. Now the strength is something that I'm going to be pretty much pumping into as much as I can as soon as I get to maybe like maybe 40 faith. Once I get to around 40 faith, and I think all I'm going to do is just pump everything into strength after that. Now, the 31 faith is because I am a huge fan of the term paladin. I like the vibe of a paladin. I like to be the heavy boy that blocks everything and heals the team and buffs the team and things like that. I love that. I play with my friends all the time on this game. We've been pretty much going crazy with that. So I only recently started pumping it into faith. Pretty much that was the last thing that I did. So pretty much all of the last maybe 30 levels have been strictly in faith. Now, if we go ahead and take a look at the equipment that I have going for me. Now, I've been going in between this and the Commander Standard. Now, this one is definitely a lot better in terms of DPS, but I'm not a huge fan of its moveset. So usually I'll go with this thing to, do a lot more DPS and stuff like that. But I'm a bigger fan of the Lance. It catches people through rolls and things like that in PvP, which is huge. And PvE, it's also super good. It staggers bosses and things like that. Now, because it is a great spear, it is a little bit on the slower side. And obviously you can tell that the damage isn't super good on it. Now, it is plus 23. If you guys have any recommendations on a different weapon to maybe use, I'm totally all ears. I've just been using this thing just because my character is literally named Captain Gunlance, and if you're wondering what that's from, that's literally just from Monster Hunter. And it's a character that I pretty much brought over, and all of my friends were telling me that it was just smart. It was just a funny idea. So basically, we're rocking the Lance as our main weapon, or you could swap it over to this Commander's Standard. Now, the Commander's Standard cannot be buffed with like the incantations and buffs that I like, but it does have its own buff which raises your defense and attack. Now, if you want to go ahead and do this with the Lance, then you can swap over to this thing and hit it with your incantations. And also, if you want, we have the Flame Grant Me Strength, as well as the Beastal Vitality, which is super good to pair with the Blessed Dew Talisman. Just because these things alone will not show you a very good health increase, but with this thing right here, it is very noticeable. The increase is definitely noticeable. Now, with the shield, this thing, oh man, this thing. It is ever since I saw it, whenever the game first dropped, it was the only thing I was hunting for, because this thing is an absolute unit whenever it comes to PvP, and sometimes even PvE. This thing can knock down pretty much any enemy in the game, aside from, like, obviously, like giants and stuff like that. But if you have, the right buffs and everything, this thing can hit like a truck. But the special part about it is that in PvP, whenever you hit someone with it practically one-shots. Now, it says here that it only does 511, but I can promise you, out of playing with my friends and getting invaded and stuff, pretty much one-shots everyone at this level. I've hit people for 1,200, I've hit people for 700, 800, 900, everything in between. And the only time it's ever not killed someone was whenever they blocked it with a shield. Because if they have 100% shield, it pretty much just breaks their guard, and then, you know, you have to go ahead and fight. But any other time, I've literally one-shot. If that doesn't happen for you, I am sorry, but I've been doing a shit ton of PvP, and this thing is pretty much one-shotted every single fight. Except for people with shields. Now, this is where you're obviously more than welcome to change everything. Now, I've been throwing everything into my equipment load to be able to use all this, because I like to be the tank. I like to be the fat boy that rolls around and tanks all the damage. It is a little hard to be the tank in this game, just because it's not super good in terms of, you know, tanking damage and things like that. Probably might be better to wear this thing, because it does have a lot more physical damage that it can pretty much hold. But I like this set of armor. It is pretty much my favorite set of armor in the game. I've pretty much taken a look at all the armors, and I can definitely say that this thing is pretty much my baby. This is my favorite armor set. So obviously you don't need to go ahead and pump all this in, but I did, just because this is the armor set that I wanted to wear, and if I pump this much, then I can wear it. Obviously, if I wanted to, I could just not worry about that and heavy roll, but the fast roll with all these slow weapons definitely helps out, especially with this thing, because if you need to and someone's running up on you, you can just be like, oh, nope, getting out of there, pump back, man. But if I heavy rolled, you know, it'd be a lot easier for them to hit me. So, as of right now, for my talismans, I have the green turtle talisman, which is obviously super good if you're using any kind of shield, just because it instantly recovers your stamina pretty much. So, let's test it out. Oh wait, well, actually I'm dumb. We can't necessarily do that because we're not in combat, but I can tell you that basically it will... Oh wait, actually no, I think we can, because I think this uses... No, it only uses stamina in combat as well. But I can tell you right now that it does greatly pretty much increase the recovery speed that you get it, so you can maybe hit twice and pretty much double the speed of normal stamina regeneration. That's basically what will happen. Then we have the Erdtree's Favor, which basically just, you know, gives you a stat increase on pretty much everything. Then we have the Great Jar Arsenal, which just vastly raises the maximum equip load. I don't know how much it is. I can probably check. It's, let's take a look. So it's about 20. It's about 20, yeah, just about 20 that it'll pretty much raise it for you. Now, it'd be a lot cooler if we could pretty much put both of these charms on, but they don't love us, so, you know, can't go ahead and do that. And then we have Radagon's Scar Seal, which raises pretty much all of your attributes. So if we take a look, it raises strength and endurance and vigor. So with that, but you do also take a little bit more damage, but since we are a tank, it doesn't really matter. And if I remember correctly, I think the damage increase is like barely 5%, if I remember correctly, from someone saying. Next up, we have our flask, which basically just makes us be even more of a tank. With this bubble tier, you can take one hit, no matter how much damage it is, and it just pretty much tanks it for you. And then you also have the temporary boost all damage negations. Then we have the Mimic tier, which if I could spawn it here, I would, but basically it summons a complete copy of you. So this Mimic will have all of the same armor, all of the same incantations that I have, as well as the shield. So it'll basically be able to shoot, it'll be able to, you know, do all my, oh, well, not that, but it'll basically be able to do all of the stupid stuff that I can do. And other than that, I believe that is it. There is the occasional time where I will swap over to try some of the bows, maybe. Just because whenever I first started playing, this was pretty much the thing that I was using. I absolutely loved this thing. It doesn't really do a whole lot of damage, but it is super fun to play with, just to mess with like enemies and things like that. If you wanted to, there are a couple of different weapons. I used this for about, I would say maybe like the first maybe like 20 hours of the game. Whenever I got up to the Volcano Manor was about whenever I got this. So whenever I got this thing absolutely helped me, walked me through a whole bunch of bosses while I was trying to get my lance up. So I definitely would recommend, if you wanted to, you can always take off the shield if you're not into it. And with this amount of equipment load, you can pretty much use any of these heavy weapons, especially this thing, which takes a ridiculous amount of 30 or 60 strength, and you can just two-hand this thing and it's usable. So if you wanted to, you can pretty much go ahead and use this thing, pump all your stuff into this and level it up, and it'll probably be super good. Now, other than that, if you have any like recommendations, especially for the weapon in this thing, I will love to hear it. This is the only spear that I've been able to find where I'm super into. I like this thing. It is super cool, and I like the power that it has. But the only thing is that I do not have the arcane for it, and I don't necessarily want to pump that many skill points into arcane to be able to use it. But if you guys have any other recommendations for the weapon, I would definitely love to hear it. I'm a huge fan of the spear type weapons, so if it could be something like that. If it's not, I don't care. I want you guys to tell me what would be better in this situation. So yeah, if you guys did enjoy this video, hit that like button and do subscribe, and I will obviously love to make more Elden Ring content. So if you want me to, just let me know. I'll definitely do some PvP or anything like that. If you want to see some videos of me and my friends fighting some bosses and getting annoyed, I obviously love to do that as well. And yeah, I hope you guys have a great day, and if you did, hit that like button and do subscribe, and I'll see you all later. Bye-bye.